So hi everybody and welcome back. This is our Unreal Engine 5 full game tutorial series for absolute beginners. This is video number 4, and in this video I want to update our progress in our team development, and we will start with who joined and who left the group. So first of all, in my last video I mentioned that we are only 2 developer who are working on this game development, and now we are in total 4 included me, which means there is coming one back, which I thought he was not interested, but that was my misinterpretation. He had work in his company, he had overtime work, and he could not make it, and that was the reason why he could not respond to my messages over Discord, and he's back. That's good. So we have our 3D modeler back in our team, and then one more person joined who is a gameplay programmer. So like I said, we grow again. We are now total of 4 players who are creating this game, and we have less time. We have now less time because I set the deadline end of May, which means when I check here the calendar, and my calendar says here, yes, this is around 1 week and 3 days for the whole game. So, but the good point is we already made our pre-phase, which means more or less that we talk to each other, we had meetings, we set up our ideas, our thoughts, and now we are going to the production phase, which means we define our task and we produce we create this task and we integrate it in our game. But like I said, this is a team development, and that works not like a solo development which I made before, because in solo development you can plan all on your own, you can work on your own, and you can decide what you do and what you not do. In team development it's more you need more organization, and I had to learn this as well. I'm still learning it actually, and I want to start with here an AI. I use ChatGPT and I asked the AI here, for example, you can see game development remotely, which programs we need to work in team. And here is important, remotely, right? Because it is a big difference if you work local in a team. For example, you are meeting in university or in a building in your company or something there, which is local, where you see each other and then you do the task and then you have direct access. This is different than remotely, and the reason why the big difference is local is probably more efficient for the company, but could be also more stressful, because remotely it's probably less efficient but more relaxed for the developers, because they are working from home and they can finish the task in a better way. So I asked now this AI, I use here ChatGPT for test purposes, and then the AI suggested me some fields which I should check. For example, we have here project management tools, and then it suggested me here some examples. And important is, this AI is of course not suggesting me all examples. I should more deep in and also use Google and ask probably game devs and other places to do so. But important is the AI suggests me some, and here it is also a very good suggestion. For example, we are using Trello for simplicity. There is also Jira. It's a little bit more complex, and we have now less time to dive into this complex tools, so I choose only for test purposes the simple tools. So for example, I choose Trello because one of this 3D developer introduced me to Trello and said this is very simple, and then I tested this one. I show you here, skip to Trello here for example, and then you can see it's really simple. We could make here lists, and that's it. In this list we define the task, what they are doing, And then we have here one more list, which means we are working. And then we have here one more list, which means done. And then here the last one, it's my list again, which says I have to test all what is done. But yeah, Trello is very easy for organization purposes. Everybody has his own list as task list. For example, the gameplay person, write all his tasks here. Level creation person here, 3D modeler person, all the tasks here. This is all other jobs. That's my job. I need to do finish all other jobs what they can't do. That's probably the most. It looks less, but it's the most here. And then, like I said, we have the working place, so we can see who is working on what right now, and then the done list. So you can see Trello is very easy. And of course, we dive not into the all functions here because, like I said, we have less time to test all in detail, just the basic function, the organization function, and see if this works for our workflow. Right now it works. And we are using the free version because we are testing these programs. We don't know if these programs are really in the end the program which we want, but right now this one looks good. So then let's see what we have here. Version control system. Right now we are using GitHub, probably very, very famous right now. And here's my GitHub repository, for example. I have here T-Mobile created this one. I have invited them, GitHub, and again, this is again free version for test purposes because we don't know if GitHub is supporting all members here. In this case, we have here 3 members in it now, all the 3 persons which I mentioned. I invited them, they can upload here, they make their own branches, and we are testing GitHub how this works because yeah, there are some little issues, but my job is to solve them, and I think I did. I have just make a meeting again with them and then update how they can upload it and so on. Then so you can see there are other programs too. There are some programs which are not mentioned here, for example, which is very well known in Unreal Engine 5, for example, would be Perforce. It's for bigger teams and so on, but GitHub has improved a lot. We will see this kind of stuff. Then communication tools. Yes, probably everybody know Discord, and yeah, I use Discord too. We have made here a server, and we made then invites and all this kind of stuff. And I learned Discord too in solo development. I don't need a Discord really because I was developing on my own side. Now I need it almost every day when I talk to anyone. And the bad thing in Discord is if anyone has no microphone, or let's say one member, I don't know why, his microphone is not working. I mean, he can't hear me from my side, but I can hear him on his side. And then we need, for example, text-based Discord, and this is really hard to develop, but we did it one time, but I don't know. But it's, yeah, the point is, if you make something like, have a tool like this, you definitely need a working microphone, and both sides must be able to hear each other, talk to each other, and so on. But important is here's for example this other program, Slack. This is probably more known in companies. And then again, Microsoft Team, I will check out all the other programs here as well, but we have right now not time, so more for future projects. This is just an introduction to team development, and I use just now the programs which others say me it's easy to use, without too much dive. And like I said, Discord and Slack looks very easy and with the basic functions and with the free functions. So that's that. So here I have Slack just downloaded. That's not. I think that's no, that's not. This one is Slack. You can see Slack is again just an organization tool here. And here I can activate, for example, also voice and so on. All right, let's go to more control. That was communication tools. Let's go to video conference tools. That's interesting. This one we have not used till now because we had not a video conference, not needed. I mean, we have all-time meetings, but without video. we use just Discord, just discuss and all this. But I have to go into this one and see if we are using something like that in future. But right now I think this one is, no, I have to test it, I don't know. Then file sharing, and this one we have also not used, but everybody know today you can have this cloud-based file sharing systems like Google Drive, Dropbox, Microsoft OneDrive. These are almost standard, everybody has, but now we can make a profit with it. I mean, not profit, we can benefit from it, that they are providing us with storage on the cloud, and we can make file share. Normally what we are using is GitHub, like I said here, this version source control. We just load in our repository all the files what we needed, and then everybody is just downloaded. So this file sharing we are not using right now, but in future I don't know, depends on the file size, and yeah, we will see if there is a need for us, but probably not right now. So then here we have code editors and IDEs. This is also interesting as we know we need for programming code editors only if we are using, for example, C++. But our project is based on blueprints, but I will make probably a mix. What I mean is we are creating C++ projects, but we are using blueprints. And the reason for that is blueprints is in general considered to be easy. Everybody understands it. Even beginners learn most time blueprints. That's why we make blueprints. And the reason why I make it still a C++ project is because the gameplay programmer and me, we can still convert these blueprints back to C++ if we want. So for example, if we have a GamePlayMechanis, instead of using blueprints, we will convert it to C++ and use the C++ version and don't use the blueprint version, because the blueprint version is all time a little bit slower, I think, in general. And yeah, and there are parts which we can't use in C++. I mean, we can, for example, it is said in the Unreal Engine, it's better to make the what was it? The UI, it's easier to make it in blueprints. And the thing, what was the other thing? This enemy behavior tree is also better to make in blueprints. Even if it's very complicated, only if you have only if you are very experienced in this kind of stuff in C++, then you should do this in C++. But we are, like I said, first time team development, and that's why I said we make a mixture and use first blueprint, and if it's possible we convert it in C++. And yeah, and the best part here is when we use C++, there is an interesting feature. I don't know if it's possible with blueprints. For example, live share. What I mean with live share is you can work with a programmer and another in one IDE, and we can work on the same project. While he is changing, I can change the code as well. That's interesting. I will cover this in the future. This one, the next one, virtual whiteboards, is interesting, very interesting. Right now they said I should check Miro, and what this is you have a board. I have Miro up here. Let me show you this one. And Miro is like, you can have a brainstorming, you can download here pictures, even videos you can include. This is just a whiteboard, and the nice thing is I'm here doing something, and at the same time when anyone is joined here, he can do at the same time write here something too at the same time. And that's the power of this whiteboard. We can write our ideas while I write my idea here, he writes here, then he pins here, and we discuss, for example, this code here, I don't know, when something like that. And the nice thing is it's very easy to handle, just like these text editors who are just pinning it here. And that's this kind of programs I like, because we don't think too much. We want just use it for our product, and then not to waste time too much in wasting here to learn other programs. But yeah, depends on our needs. I think that's cool. then let's see what we have here. But of course, there are also other programs. I will check the other ones too in future, not right now. Right now, I think we will concentrate more on finishing our game. All right, let's see what we have here. We have here bug and issue tracking tool. Right now, not using, but this would be normally very good. Bugzilla, very good for programmers normally. This one I have to check. Or if there is anyone better. This Jira is, by the way, a big program, I think, because we saw this Jira here. Jira was also in other places. There are some tools which are big. The same goes for Microsoft tools. We see Microsoft here, Microsoft anything here. So here Team, Microsoft OneDrive, Microsoft anything. So there are some programs which offers multiple areas. That's also interesting to consider, because you can just download one program who has many areas. So, and here is something new. This is screen sharing and remote access. This one is normally cool, but in our case perhaps not so good, because the reason for that is you should give this one only for people who you trust. I mean, remote access. So with other words, I could access his code to make fixes or make something what he can't do or something like that. So in this case, it's very powerful. For example, TeamViewer, AnyDesk, and something like that. So remote access in general, nice. And we have to see if we can integrate it in, for example, in a workflow where you have company computers which are only meant to be used for work, not for private let's say for private bank accounts or something like that, which you want not share, then it's not a problem if you have just work PCs where you share your screen because you don't care. There is nothing important from your side, only from the game development side. But like I said, we are using probably all with our own computers, and we have not here a spare computer where we just dedicate our whole work on a separate PC. Yeah, so this one still a good option normally, but only if you trust the person, or we have dedicated PCs, which means no sensitive information is on it. Okay, this one's still an option for future, not right now, I think. And then we have here documents and knowledge sharing. Let's see what we have here. Yes, here is also something which I have to test. Here is, for example, Notion. One of the persons meant Notion, but again, we have here Google Docs and other programs which I have to check. And here is Notion, for example. This looks a little bit more complicated. When we compare this, for example, to this, you can see here I just put it here, and here I have to work a little bit more and dive into and see how this works and what options I have. What I mean with complicated, you have just to watch a tutorial. Here I don't have to watch a tutorial. I can see it, very basics, and we have only 1 week. There is, yeah, we will see. So, and then this was more or less the tools which we are going to do and which everybody has more or less to learn, because all the tools which I'm using here, they have to learn too, because we are using these tools for communication, sharing, and all this kind of stuff. And there are much more tools which I will ask online developers and see what they are using or what they use in the industry to see if this is good for our workflow. And my job is also to test these programs for good workflow, because there are some programs which are too complicated for, let's say, to learn it instantly, which means needs a longer tutorial to work, and we can't use them right now. But the point is we have to use some of them, and I showed you the difference about solo development and team development. Solo development is you could almost skip all this programs here, because on solo development, at least on my I almost use only less here, almost nothing. Perhaps this GitHub for source control. Even this was not needed, because you could still make a local source control. What I mean with that, you could just save your files locally on a extended hard drive or something like that. I did this when I was too lazy to use source control, but source control is more power because you can use history to go back and forth, so there is more power in it. That's why we have to use source control later. And then solo, what's the difference about solo? Yeah, the biggest difference is in solo you almost could skip all these programs here, and in team you have to learn it, and you have to manage the teamworks, of course, and the meetings where we have to make meetings. But now, after the pre phase where we have discussed a lot, we had meetings, we have defined our goals and performed, and like I said, we are going now to the production phase, which means we are just, let me show you this one, we are just defining tasks and we are working this task out, and that's it in this week, which means we don't need even that much meetings. We need just defining the task. And interesting is, by the way, this Trello here, perhaps some of you know it, it is like Scrum, little Scrum. I call it little Scrum. Scrum is like, let me show you something here on the whiteboard. You see how easy it is now that I can use these boards, even I never use them. That's the nice thing about it. Scrum is something like that. That is little Scrum. Here you have your task, here you have your work, and here you have a test. And if this test not goes, you go back to the work and have to do it again and finish. And when you compare this to our Trello, we have here our task. This is this here. Then we have our working. This is this here. And then it is done and I have to test this. This is my job. That would be here. And then if it's good, it will go to integrate it in our project. If it's bad, it is going back to this place here and he has to rework it. And then I test it again till it's good. So you can see very nice things here, very easy to integrate, very easy to think. And so that's why I like this kind of stuff. And this one is also nice because it works with other people at the same time. So here is one more program which I mentioned at the start, but it's not written here. Which is that? And that is the change of our life right now, which is AI. You can see I use now ChatGPT, and AIs are changing our workflow. I'm testing how we can use ChatGPT, for example, and you can see that was here a test. I asked ChatGPT for a guidelines and careful about the general rule. ChatGPT will make just examples, sometimes not accurate, but you can see can help. But the information is here. AI will change our workflow because you can see it's one of the programs which is included in this one too. And ChatGPT was even in solo included. I think even if you are not working on team, yeah, you can include this in solo development as well. And important is in AI, it's not just chat like here with text where you can chat and ask your question. AI will also change in art, in videos, in games. So what I mean with that is they will create art, they will create music, and you can use this. So this AI section in the workflow will also have a big influence to our doing in the future, but not right now. Right now I use, for example, only ChatGPT and test it, and yeah, it's already in our workflow. I would say I ask it sometimes, and then I Google still a lot in the search machine and still go to other sites. But yes, I would say AI is already in our workflow, and it will grow even more when I say, like I said, there will be art tools, music tools, and it's something like that. So, and with that said, I want to, of course, promote some of our developer, because I will link their Artstation or their LinkedIn dateis in the description, so you can check who is working on this project to see their works. They are also most time starters, beginners, but they are working now on a real project. On this is a real project. We are starters, yes, but still, like all time, we are aiming for professionalism. And check them out. For example, I will link all their profiles or all that thing what they allowed me to link. For example, the 3D model, like I said, I could link his Artstation in the description. The gameplay designer, I think he gave me his LinkedIn. You can find it all in the description and see who these persons are and so on. So, and with that said, I stop here the feedback, and in the next video I will show you more products, what we are producing. So not only talk, but like I said, this talk is like a preface where we discuss all the things, and next time, like I said, we are already little by little in our production phase, and then I will show what I'm doing there in detail. Not all, because there is a lot of things what I have to do. I will show you only some parts and explain how this works, and yeah, give you a motivation that you are doing this also in future if you are interested in team development as a beginner. All right, with that said, if you have any comments or any suggestions, like all time, write it in the comment section. See you in the next video, and like all time, have fun, never give up. Bye.